To do this video, we need to make only one assumption, which is going to be the average return on investment per year based on an average ETF. You might be also thinking, why don't I ask ChatGPT to do this or some other AI tool? They will get it wrong, and I'll explain to you at the end why. Firstly, let's think of the amount as X. We want to get an average return, and based on the average return of a British ETF, which is an exchange traded fund taking the average of 100, 200 companies in whatever sector and tracking them, is going to be 8%. And the period that we're going to be dealing with is, as I've stated here, 25 years. I will later on as well show what the difference is for, let's say, 15 years, 10 years, 5 years, or even 1 year. And then we now need to know what the monthly compound is. So we know that this average return is per year, so 8% annually. But we want to know what I is, which is the monthly compound. Monthly compound, which is going to be the percentage return divided by the months in a year. So months in a year. So I would be this represented as a decimal 0.08 over 12, which is 1 over 150. And this is the most crucial part, going to leave this as a fraction. Do not represent this as a decimal. We now need to work out how many months are going to be covered over 25 years, which is fairly simple. 25 times 12, which is going to be 300 months. So now we know what the compounded amount of the average return is per month. We know what the full term is. So now we can then use an equation. So the equation, or the formula that we need, is the total, which is going to be $1 million or pounds. It doesn't really make a difference. X, 1 plus I to the power of n minus 1, all divided by I. We're now ready to start plugging some things in. Let's start plugging in. So we're going to have 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's 1 million would equal X. 1 plus 1 over 150 to the power of 300 minus 1 divided by 1 over 150. So I think the first thing I want to do is get rid of this fraction over here. So I'm going to move it over to this hand side. So to do that, you multiply everything on the left hand side to the right hand side. So that's then going to become 20,000 over 3, which is X, 1 plus 1 over 150, 300 minus 1. Keeping everything in a fraction, super crucial. Do not convert this to decimals. And then we're going to do everything in here. So there's an open bracket there. So let's close that. Let's do everything inside this bracket. And I'm going to write it out as the full decimal. So it's going to be 20,000 divided by 3, which is X. And that's going to be 6.340175964. It sounds like I'm making it up, but I'm not. And then we're going to divide both sides by this number here. So 20,000 over 3 divided by that is then going to get you what X is. So let's do 20,000 over 3 divided by 6.340175964, which is going to equal X. Therefore, X is going to equal, I can put pounds or dollars, 1,051.49, 5527. Bit stupid, so that's going to become, so that's how much £1,052 or dollars you would need to invest every single month with an 8% annual return, so that you could have a million pounds or dollars in 25 years. Let's say you're a little bit more ambitious and you somehow have more than that every single month. So we know that for 25 years to have £1 million or dollars, you need 1,052. But what about 15 years? Using the exact same method, it would be about 2,889.85 per month. What about 10 years? It would be 5,466 and 9p or cent per month. That looks a bit sloppy. What about 5 years? You would need to invest 13,609.73 per month. And then what about 1 year? Which, to be honest, if you have this kind of disposable, I don't really know why you're watching this video, to be quite honest, but you'd need to invest 80,321.76 per month. So why are you watching this video? And why did I say at the beginning about ChatGPT? ChatGPT is incessant about converting this into 0.0066667 and then using that and plugging it in to this equation. As soon as you do that, because it's being compounded over such a long period of time, the end result is going to be drastically different. About 50 to 60, maybe 70 pounds off of this, or dollars off of this. And when you're looking at that over a shorter period of time, it's going to be even more drastic. So keeping this in a fraction is totally important. This is the only thing that we're assuming is the 8% annual return. However, if you've got a different bond, ETF, ISA with a different percentage, all you have to do is substitute it in to this equation differently. So instead of doing 8%, let's say it's 6%, you would do 0.06, add that to 1 instead, and you would be using that as your percentage return. But anyway, now you know, you just need to put this much in per month and you'll be a millionaire in 25 years.